Good afternoon, students. This is your professor, Professor Estrada, for your American Literature class, Summer 1, Quarter 1, 2026, first 5 weeks, 100% online class. Kind of a long line just for the 5-week class. This is a video. It's more of a welcome video, but it's also your week 1 lecture and audio in the hopes that this helps you with navigating the course, a little bit of what the syllabus contains, and if it's the first thing that you see in regards to the weekly folders, which will be explained here in a minute, and the contents therein, this will help you kind of navigate what to expect within this 5-week course. I'm going to go ahead and start on the home page of Brightspace. Now, if you have different courses, you just have to make sure that within this course you're clicking on your module. So this is our home page. I am recording this on June 4th. The class technically doesn't start until Monday, June 8th, so I'm just recording this video a little bit earlier. But this is the home page for the course. Notice that on the left side tab, I haven't put up any announcements, which I will be tonight, which is the 4th, or tomorrow. You'll see a welcome announcement and or what to expect for the course. On the left side tab, you'll see a lot of announcements in regards to due dates, in regards to things that we did during that week or what needs to be done. Because the course is sped out in 5 weeks, everything contained within one course will be for that week. And the deadline to meet that week would be from a Monday morning throughout a Sunday night. So everything in week 1 will be due that following Sunday night. And I'll explain that here in a minute. But I'm just showing you that right here, I tend to write a lot. I tend to be detailed, but I tend to open up folders early and also remind you of what is in that folder, so that way you kind of give a heads up of what to expect. And all of those announcements will be right here. On the right side tab, I have my info, this class, English 23-27, section 11. It's a summer 1 5-week course. It is completely online, so everything that you will need for the course is found here in Brightspace, from the syllabus to the course, details, content, lectures, slides, everything will be found here. This is also where you will be uploading all the content to be graded. Right here on the work to do and the calendar, notice that I just scrolled down here. While these are going to be great for the course, I urge you to always consider to look at what the syllabus may say in regards to a due date. This work to do is great because you can always click on it and it'll take you to that specific content or assignment, but it doesn't give you background as to why it's needed. It won't give you the lecture slides or the text or links followed for it. So it's just kind of like a jumping point. The calendar right here will also tell you due dates, but I will say this, mind the due dates, mind what's in the syllabus, because everything for week 1 will always have a Sunday night due date, unless it's something dragged on, such as a essay or a exam. This right here, the calendar, will always give you extra days, and here in a minute I'll explain that in the syllabus. But let's dive in, and let me go ahead and start right here. So on this banner, you'll have something different, but this is my instructor banner. But this is great because I would like to show you the simple syllabus. When you click on that, that is your syllabus. This is your link to being able to see the syllabus in all of its entirety. But I also included it right here, so I'm going to click on content. And content will tell you to this different page. It should open up like this. Because I'm recording this early, you probably won't see this until it's in real time, until I make it accessible. But these emojis that say hidden from students, you'll be able to see all of these tabs once the class is opened. So notice that whenever I click on a module, it will open up. I click it and it closes. So clicking on modules will also show you what's inside those modules. So let's just show you what's on this left side tab so that you can see it. Some of these modules are as follows: welcome to the class, course syllabus and schedule, late pass policy, and then as you can tell, the class is divided into weekly folders. So for week 1, we're only going to be looking at the folder and record this video for week 1 folder part 1 and week 1 folder part 2. This is as if we were a traditional 8-week course or 16-week course and I was meeting you twice a week. So if I was meeting you Monday or Wednesday and or Tuesday or Thursday, you would see a lecture slide for that day and then a lecture slide on the other day. So twice a week. So I divided the content into 2 folders, but they are both given the same deadline. So let's look at this. It just says welcome to the class. There will be a video right here whenever you click on it. It's just a little 2-minute video. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. It's just me welcoming you to the class and the core objectives for that, but you can also look at that at the syllabus. So let me click on the course syllabus and schedule. Like I said, you can also find it in simple syllabus. But here, this link, showing you right here, this is an actual link. The page just says that in this folder, you'll find the course syllabus, also found in the simple syllabus tab, the course schedule, which is just the course schedule as a calendar. It just tells you what we will be doing during the week of that week, laid out so that you can see everything at a glance. If you like due dates, if you like assignments being turned in early, or what is to come throughout the entire month, throughout the entire 5 weeks of this course, it gives you a heads up what to expect. So this is where you can find that. So this takes you to the simple syllabus link. Here in a minute, I'm going to open it up so that we can take a look at the actual syllabus. And this is the course calendar. This is also on the last page of our syllabus. If you were to look at the syllabus, this will be the last page. But at a glance, this is the course calendar. It tells you exactly what the syllabus will say. It just tells you our course calendar of everything that is going to be happening within the week from that course. So it tells you the week that we meet, which is June 8th, Monday, June 8th at 8 o'clock through June 14th, which is that Sunday night at 11:59. And it tells you that we're going to first be introduced to the colonial period, which is Unit 1. There's a couple of things in this folder. There's also a couple of things in the Part 2 folder. All of Part 1 and all of Part 2 will all be due on June 14th. Okay, and as you can scroll, you can see everything at a glance, depending on due dates, depending on however the course is met. Oftentimes, some things happen. So if anything were to be eliminated or anything needed to be added on with extra due dates, please always refer to what I may write in the home screen of the course. Okay. I also include this, and I'll touch base on it here in a minute within the syllabus whenever I go over the syllabus. But this is a late pass policy, and I'm going to read this to you. It says, every semester is met with challenges. Sometimes life happens and things go beyond our control. This just means twice this semester, I will give you the ability to turn in up to 2 days late an assignment. It can be used on any major or minor assignment, excluding the final exam or the essay, without a late grade penalty. For example, if you're having a writing assignment due on Sunday or Monday night, I'll give you an additional 48 hours to submit it. So not only in this class will everything within week 1 fall on a Sunday night deadline, you also have the opportunity to turn in something up to 4 days late. Each day, I deduct 25 points. So hypothetically, if you forget to turn in a quiz or a discussion board and you're running out of time, better to turn it in late than not at all. So I'll deduct 25 points off, maybe a 75 for a Monday submission. But if you actually reach out to me before that so that it's not counted late for you, I call that a late pass. And it just says upon applying for the late pass, I'll just note in my records, reach out to me through your student email letting me know that you'll be using a late pass, which is just a fancy version of the word extension, and I'll grant you that. A late pass will grant you up to 2 days extra that I don't count it late, I don't look at it, and I won't grade it until it's submitted. It's more like breathing room for a lot of you that need that. To apply for a late pass, you just simply have to email me on the date that it's due by 10 o'clock. If many of the assignments are due at midnight or 11:59, make sure to send me your late pass request by 10 p.m. In turn, I'll remind you or I'll email you saying that I received it and that you are free to use late pass number 1 or late pass number 2. Everyone in the class is given at least 2 to start off with. And once those are done, then we go into our actual regular due dates. And then it just tells you right here an example of how to send a late pass, how to email me and that. But remember, you can turn in any 2 things late. but you can turn in things late if you don't use a late pass. A 50, a 40, or 30 is always better than the zeros. After 4 days without a completion, even after the late days, it is a 0. Okay, so what I do now is I'm going to go ahead and open up the syllabus. I'm going to open it up as my PDF, but if you ever just need to take a quick preview of what the syllabus looks like, you'll click right here. But I'm going to go ahead and open it up so that way we can see it, and we'll get started. So this is the syllabus. You'll be able to see this different version of the syllabus in your simple syllabus, that it just says the section and the course. It tells you my office hours, my office building room number in Hillsborough, on the Hillsborough campus, but I also have office hours, and because I'm observing those office hours electronically or at home, feel free to reach out to me. That is my office number. It gets connected to Office Teams so that I may pick up if I have to and need to, and I'm required to. This is the goals and outcomes of American Literature 1. Students of American Literature 23-27 will be taught to acquaint themselves with the writing and writers of early America. Students will gain knowledge of early prose and connection of literary text and their contributions to the rise of exploration leading to 1860. We will explore the following core curriculum learning objectives in critical thinking, communication, teamwork, and personal responsibility as the semester progresses. Students will then demonstrate their capabilities in these objectives by writing a variety of scholarly essays, as well as presenting their findings through the use of oral presentations and/or analytical thinking. So for this class, we're going to be looking at some of the core objectives, being able to compare the relationship between early American society and its literature, understand the basic prose of academic text, paragraph at an essay level, be able to interpret and identify characteristics, be able to look at the scholarly discourse and terminology used for that period. We're going to be looking at critical thinking, communication, teamwork, general learning activities such as online discussion boards and or collaboration. Now, because this class is 100% online, everything is within that forum. Okay, so let's look a little bit about what the class is about in regard to the syllabus. This is an online class. We're bound by the terms of the Code of Conduct by the student handbook. It says show respect. Because it's an online class, show respect to the online forum, the discussion boards. Everybody's coming in at different learning capabilities. Not everybody has an advanced vocabulary, but some people are learning as they go. So let's be mindful of the language that is used and how we interpret those texts. Sometimes we may or may not agree with what someone may say or their perception on a text or an author or what the author meant. But this is how we show that respect. Required text and materials. Because it's an online class, you are opening the class online folder, week 1 folder, as you please. But if it's easier for you, make sure that you have something to write on or write with if you need to. Make sure that you have a good, strong internet and being able to save and document if you have nowhere else to save it, and high-speed internet. Computer access is vital to this course because it is a 100% online course. You are needed to log in to the class and participate and turn in assignments. And we have those standards for that. It also says email Brightspace communication. When sending your instructor an email, include your course and section name so that I can better help you. Treat emails like professional correspondence. Be academic and respectful. Remember, a response is not instant. Please allow me a couple hours or a day or two to reply to you. Because I teach multiple classes all at the same time, make sure that you are differentiating your email from somebody else. If you're both in American Lit and I have 2 people talking about the same assignment, make sure that your name is on there. Make sure that I'm addressing what I can. For example, if I teach 2 Jessicas, which Jessica are you? From what class are you? And if one Jessica's talking about quiz 1, the other one's talking about quiz 4, I want to make sure that I'm answering correctly. But also note that I will not respond to emails sent to me from outside servers such as Yahoo, Outlook, or Hotmail. Be sure that when you are corresponding to me that you are using your student email and or, I'm going to open it up real quick, and or in Brightspace, the little emojis right here, this is for email alerts and this is also for instant messaging. So that way you can also send me a message through that, but also through your email. Let me open this up real quick. All right. And then when you are sending me a message, please make sure that you use a subject line so that I kind of know what to expect from it. Make sure that you're logging in, because you get to decide when you log in throughout a 1 week period. I do count just attending the class once a week as attendance. If you're logging in every day, that's awesome. It works for you, but make sure that you're logging in at least once a week so that it can count towards your weekly attendance during that said period. But because this is an online class, and I will say this a couple of times during the announcements, is an online class constitutes towards 2 hours in regards to what would be in 1 hour class in person. Okay. Microsoft Word, you are going to need Microsoft Word for the submission of the essay and or some assignments that may require this. Through the use of your student account, you are given accessibility to Office 365 using your Hill College email, and it may allow you the usage of using Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. I think there's a link that I can help you out with, but it may be able to do that under my HC under the tab Help. But make sure that you have some type of capability format to be able to write essays and submit them that way. Adobe Reader may be of use. It may be downloadable or free to use for some of these things. I have converted many of these readings in text so that you're able to access them, but sometimes the supplemental information is always helpful too. Like I told you about attendance policy, online it says right here, if you miss more than 2 weeks of the class, which means that you didn't log on at all for 2 straight weeks, you may fail the course. Because this is an online 5-week class, attendance is just as vital. Since this class does not have all the material posted at once, I may open up a folder early, but not everything will open up week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your responsibility is to work on what's available during that week. I may open up things on a Thursday or Friday, but make sure that you're following the due dates for the week prior to that. I also have right here optional student conference. During this semester, I'll be available for conference if you would like to have one. It's just one-on-one discussion. You get to determine whenever you need this. If it's just easier, I can be more available from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I can look at my calendar if that's something that you need help on or just more time. I do have people in here that work, have families, travel, and sometimes afternoon hours may not be suitable, but late afternoon or evening hours are more acceptable. Writing assignments and submission of work. All your assignments will be uploaded to Brightspace. Your assignments will not be considered fully submitted until I receive it. I will not grade anything that's sent as an email attachment. Everything has to be turned in through Brightspace. Additionally, essays will also be submitted there as well. For assignments that need to be viewed, be advised, if I cannot open it or view it, I cannot grade it. Your assignments will not be considered fully submitted until I've received it. I will not accept those email attachments. So again, this is just saying, Mrs. Strada, can you look at this and give me a grade? It has to be submitted within its module so that I can grade it accordingly. Always read the essay instructions for further clarification. If your essay requires a works cited page, which the essay instructions will state if they do or not, please make sure that you meet that requirement. Okay, and then right here it just says the same thing that I wrote before about the late pass and late work, that I do accept late assignments past the Sunday due date. I just deduct points, but you also have the opportunity to use a late pass. That's just you sending out an email Sunday by 10 o'clock saying, Mrs. Strada, I need to use my late pass number 1 for one of the discussion boards. Please don't count it late. And I won't count it late. Within that deadline, I won't count it late. I won't look at it. And then you have 2 extra days to submit it. And that works for an online class because you're also turning in everything within that said folder, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, or week 5. But within that week, many things can happen. 2 extra days so that an assignment is not counted late will work many, many, many blessings for that. And then I write right here, late work is always better than no work. This is how I would determine all of the grades according to a course grade total, participation in attendance, discussion boards, Unit 1 exam, online assignments or all the submissions of electronic work, online quizzes, The analytical essay and the works cited page, notice that that itself is worth 15%. The annotated bibliography, notice that that alone is also 15%. So those two things are worth 30% of the entire course grade. You also have your final exam, which is called Unit 2 exam. And then we have peer review. And this is the course grade total that I have right here. We have the mission statements for Disability ADA Act. We have all the policies set so that at any reason, if you need these accommodations, please let me know and I will more than gladly make sure that they are taken care of for you. We also have our AI policy. We have academic integrity and scholastic dishonesty. Please make sure that you review what is posted so that I can better service you in that. If you have any questions, let me know. We also have our tentative outline, Unit 1, the approach to that and the authors and their works. We also have Unit 2, which is the neoclassic age. We also have Unit 3, the Romantic period. We also have authors on here that are listed, but that may not be listed in the course outline. But some authors are listed, we don't even use them. So sometimes I try to make sure that we do touch base on many of these. And then we have authors of the early 19th century. And again, this is the course calendar that you just saw that you can view at any time at your leisure in the course calendar folder. Okay, and at a glance, it tells you that it's subject to change at the expense of the teacher. At a glance, all the weeks have part 1 or part 2, or one of the folders even has a part 3 to it. And notice that they go by a due date. So a Monday morning, a weekly folder will open up or already been opened up, and it'll run through a Sunday night due date. Please pay attention. The majority of all content for any weekly folder will always be a Sunday night due date at 11:59. Going in, there's many things. I also have included that some of these works will include one essay. The one essay that you do incorporates a research paper. It's found in week 3. That's where I give the directions for it. And hopefully that these videos give you extra space so that you can see how to reflect using the resources, the links to go about them and begin them. Okay. If it is a unit exam, the unit exam does have a specific window to complete, whether unit exam 1 or the final exam. Please adhere to those specific timelines. And then right here, when we get to week 5, it goes all the way down. Week 5 closes out July 6th through July 10th. It just says look to the different due dates accordingly. And the letters of the Civil War writing activity will be due July 6th. The essay will be due July 6th at 11:59 at night. But the next day you can turn it in, but I will deduct 30 points. Failure to not turn in the essay by July 7th at 4 p.m. will result in a 0. This essay will consist of a works cited page. I will not accept any submissions after anything past Tuesday, July 7th at 4 p.m. so that it gives me time to grade. I close my grading book, and anything that I have yet to grade is going in the grade book, but I will not accept any incoming grades after that. There's also extra credit opportunities that are already embedded within the course. These can reflect anything from a minor grade, a major grade, and or extra points on a exam grade or even your essay. Each of these will be detailed as they are found within the folders. My grading book for the course will close Tuesday, July 7th. The final grades are posted by Thursday, July 9th, and the official grades, as the Hill College states, will be due Friday, July 10th. So I'm going to go ahead and close the syllabus. That was a lot of information, but like I said, it was just the syllabus to kind of look at it. So I'm going to dive in to what is our first week 1 folder, part 1, and week 1 folder, part 2. So I'm clicking on the module. The module itself will have these things right here listed for you, but just so that you are aware of what to do within them, I have this page included right here so that way you can see it. It says that within this folder, you'll see the following things: an audio lecture, lecture slides, a discussion board. It says to listen and watch the Walt Whitman biography. You can click it right here, or the videos right there. You're going to complete a writing submission of Walt Whitman. You're going to be listening and reading 2 poems by Walt Whitman, A Song of Myself and I Hear America Singing. There is also a completed discussion board for you to work on and complete. And then also the word count link. This is just a text box to help you count your words whenever you have to meet a certain requirement as your own post and or replying to others. And then notice right here it says that the week 1 part 1 content is due June 14th at 11:59. This just means that it is due that Sunday night at 11:59, but that the calendar or the to-do module on the homepage may state the 4 extra days that you are given. So always refer to the due date that you have. So let's dive in. And this is what is given to us as our lecture slides. I had to open this up and use the lecture slides. It just says this is the lecture slides for week 1, part 1. It tells you the section. It tells you that it's a summer class and it's 100% online. And I would do these lectures as if we were starting off the class in a traditional setting, online or in person, and this is the first thing that you see. If we were in a traditional class, you would see these, and we would go over their lecture slides. It tells you the catalog description of the course. It tells you the core objectives of the class, which we covered in the syllabus, and the objectives for today, which would be, or this video, which is week 1, part 1. We're looking at the introduction and welcome to the class, a review of the syllabus, the navigation of Brightspace, and the introduction and completion of the week 1 folder. And just like I said at the beginning of this video, this would tell you how to go into the course if you're starting on the home page of Brightspace, the navigation and course components of emailing and communicating with me. And this is in the folder just like I showed you right here. The lecture slides also tell you the same thing. Okay, so this is the end. I can't scroll anymore. So let's go over here. So the first thing is an icebreaker discussion board. It's opening up. And it's an icebreaker discussion board. It just says here are some icebreaker questions that I would like you to answer. You can pick any of the 3 that you would like, and I would like you to answer. If a discussion board will ask you or require you to reply to others, please reply to others. But this one's just saying to kind of open up and introduce yourself to everyone in the class. Pick any of these 3 that you would like, and I want you to reply. Notice that due date is still a Sunday, June 14th at midnight. It just gives you that the home page will tell you the 4 extra days, but always be mindful of the week 1 or week 2 or week 3 or week 4 deadline. So for the subject, you can write anything. You can write DB1, which is shortened for discussion board number 1, icebreaker, whatever you would like to call it. And you can copy and paste any of these 3 questions. You can copy all of them, or you can just answer them in 1, 2, 3 bullet number list form. And right here, since we're doing this in real time, I'm just going to type a couple of things in. So that way you know I'm typing. You can do it in any color, any size, any font, as long as it's legible. And then you're just going to go ahead and post. Because you're seeing this in real time, this is the first thing that you're seeing. So anyone that sees this once it's open is going to get really confused. But I'm going to go in and do this real quick for you. Okay, we have the Walt Whitman biography that you are going to click on. You have to open up the link so that you see it. It is a YouTube video. It's really short, but it is a biography that opens up to our spotlight author of that day, which is Walt Whitman. And then there's also an assignment. So for this assignment, I'm opening it up, edit the assignment so that you can see it. And it just says, after reading a little bit of Walt Whitman and his contributions, I want you to answer the following questions. That means that after reading his biography and or reading his poems, I want you to answer some of the following questions. Use the video, biography, and the 2 poems as reference. You can simply answer these in the text box provided, or you can create your own document if you want. But it just says for you to answer the following questions. Okay? Then it gives you the due date. And then I'm going to save and close. If you have trouble with this one already uploading something, please let me know so that I can make sure that everything is accessible to you. Go back and open up the folder again. Whoops. All right. So we have the 2 poems, A Song of Myself and I Hear America Singing. So you have to click on the web. Oh, there it is. You have to click on the web link or the poem will open up. And this one right here, it just says, I think I remember it saying that. So it says right here, I hear a song of a song of myself. I would like you to read only the first 3 stanzas. Okay, the first 3 paragraphs. And then I Hear America Singing, read the whole thing. So it says right here for A Song of Myself to read the first 3 stanzas. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Where 3 ends and 4 begins, just read those couple of stanzas. And right here, it'll show you to stop right here with this question mark of which is ahead. But then also read I Hear America Singing. The poem should open up, and if it doesn't, it should be a link, and I would like you to reflect on those poems. There is also a discussion board number 1. Discussion board number 1 tells us of the following. It tells us to glance at this stanza within Whitman's poem called Drum Taps, and read the poem and then answer the questions. This says for this first discussion board to answer these questions in complete sentences. Your word count for this original post should be at least 200 words, but then it says to respond to at least one other student. So in other classes, I usually make students respond to 2, 3, 4 other people. But because this is a small class, I just want you to be challenged in just responding to one other person. And I'll say it this way. Your original post will always give you a 70, 75, maybe 80. But just responding to one other person may even bump up your grade to the full 100 that I'm looking for. The full participation within its word count. And if you don't know how to reply to others, use these excellent sentence starters to reply to them. And this follows a week 1 due date. And I'm going to go ahead and start a new thread. Notice that there's nobody else because I haven't opened up. Just typing in random things right here. And then we're just going to type in some more stuff. Promise you, if you're watching the video, it makes a lot more sense. Okay. You can copy and paste the questions. You can bullet form, list them. You can type in any text, any font, any size, as long as it's legible. And then you are going to post. Okay. And when you see other people post, you're more than welcome to start your completion and replying to them. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next thing. The next thing is this word count link. This word count link is where you can copy and paste what's going in your discussion board and count words for your discussion board. So if I'm requiring your original post to be 150 words, copy and pasting it in here. That way it can count your words for you. Also counting the words for your replies. Because I also take points for you not meeting your word count, this is an excellent tool to make sure that your words are meeting the requirement. Now, a lot of people have said that this is helpful, but I would suggest that you find somewhere to save your discussion board first, because if you're starting it in here, it may not be saved, and then you have to start all over. So if there's somewhere that you can start your discussion board and all you're doing is just copying it in here just to count the words, that would work for us as well. Okay, and again, you have to click on the module for all of this to open, and it tells you if something is being read, written, listen, watch, upload. It will tell you right there. Okay. And then we have week 1 folder part 2. So we do have another folder that does have things in there that we have to do as well. So it says right here, we also have the lecture slides, which is the introduction of the colonial period. I would like you to watch this video of the structure of the colonial period. There's a couple of readings that I would like you to read. The General Histories of Virginia, of Plymouth Plantation, A Model of Christian Charity, Letter to the Town of Providence, The Bloody Tenet of Persecution, and the discussion board number 2, Understanding Major Works. It also has a word count link. And after you read all of those readings, there is your first quiz, taken from week 1, part 1, and part 2. Okay? And notice the due date. It still follows a week 1 due date. All right. So let's dive into the lecture slides that are found for the week 1, day 2, or part 2. Beautiful title. And then I have right here the objectives for week 1, part 2. We're going to look at a lecture on early American literature timeline. We're going to look at the Puritan colonial era, and you're going to begin looking at the readings for the authors listed in week 1, part 2, and complete all the assignments. So this is my lecture for the early American section, the colonial period. During its early history, America was a series of British colonies on the eastern coast of the present-day United States. Its literary essence links with that of British literature. However, American literature characteristics and its outcome is now considered a path of historical, monumental, and classical tradition. Continuation lecture of early America. Early American writers acknowledged British allegiance, but others stressed over the differences of opinion that caused the colonists to leave their homeland. More importantly, they are argued questions of government involving the relationship between church and state. The writings of the 17th century included biographies, treatises, accounts of voyages, and sermons. There were few achievements in drama or fiction since there was a widespread prejudice against these forms. All 17th century American writings were in the manner of British writings of that same period. John Smith wrote in the tradition of geographic literature. Bradford echoed the writings of the King James Bible, while Roger Williams wrote prose typical of that day. This is a timeline of the American literature period, the colonial Puritan period. We have spotlight authors such as Anne Bradstreet, Edward Taylor, and Jonathan Edwards. God and religion permeated all the aspects of their lives. Relatively little writing produced as they were struggling to survive. Writing from this period included the religious prose, sermons, religious poetry, and historical prose, the histories of the colonies. An important vocabulary word is literary period. A literary period is an artistic attitude of shared characteristics. These characteristics may include the style of the writing, the genre, or the subject matter. The work of a certain literary period may be the response to historical events, but it is not the same as the historical period. And during the Puritan colonial literary period, this is a timeline. Jamestown, Virginia, the first permanent English colony, was founded in 1607. Plymouth Colony, by separatists, the Pilgrims, governed by William Bradford, who wrote of Plymouth Plantation. You're going to be reading about him a little bit. The Puritans immigrated to Americans to establish a city on a hill led by John Winthrop. You're going to be reading his work, but also you're going to be reading Jonathan Edwards' Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Okay? Let's look at the introduction to Puritanism, or the Puritan era, which is still found within the colonial period. Sorry, I'm making sure that I'm on the right slide. Puritanism is a mix of English Protestantism and Calvinism, demanding the simplification of doctrine and worship and greater strictness in religious discipline. Main ideas of Puritanism is to restore simplicity to church services and the authority of the Bible to theology, pleasure and the arts opposed to joy and laughter, suspected as a symptom of sin, and that life should be disciplined and hard. This is an inside look of the overview of a Puritan lifestyle, and I put a little picture right here. It says the composition of the group of Puritans included people from the humblest and loftiest of ranks, both educated and uneducated, poor and rich. They looked upon themselves as the chosen people. Anyone who challenged their way of life was opposing God's will and was not to be accepted. They were thus zealous in defense of their own beliefs, but often intolerant of the beliefs of others. So, Puritanism was dominant on the continent in this period. Their thoughts and ideas and dreams all came into making of American literature. These are some of the primary beliefs of the Reformation of Puritans. They thought of absolute sovereignty, human depravity, predestination, covenant theology, and the individualism in reading. Okay, so we have absolute sovereignty. This is where they used the idea that God exists out of time and is in complete knowledge and control. Nothing happens outside of his knowledge or power. And they use the word sovereignty and providence interchangeably. They also thought of depravity. Human depravity or total depravity states that humans are inherently evil and sinful due to the fall of grace of Adam and Eve. Therefore, humans are incapable of a worthy response to God, are in need of God's grace and redemption. All of creation is tainted by the original sin, and there's nothing good in a human apart from God's grace or the saving action of God. Because of the fall and human descent into depravity, God must initiate all interaction with humans, giving humans an ability or a chance to respond. Depravity means wickedness or a nature of evidence. Okay? And then we have predestination. God, in his absolute authority, sovereignty, and wisdom, determined before human history who would ever be saved and go to heaven, the elect, and who would be damned to hell. This number was already fixed. They also believe that the elect have no choice but to be saved, and those who cannot, even if they think they were, are condemned. They also believe in covenant theology. Covenant theology is a core idea of Calvinism that influences all of the Puritan life, grounding their religious beliefs with their experience, their relationship with God, social and civil relationships, church, and organization. And a covenant means an agreement or contract between God and his loyal, faithful followers. The Puritans also called it a compact. Oh, sorry, it zoomed out. Puritans were of the middle class, and due to the Reformation influenced personal relationship with God, they emphasized individual responsibility. This led to the practical outcome of increased literacy, particularly the Bible reading, because each person needed to be able to interpret God's word. Both men and women studied and interpreted the Bible for themselves and raised their children to be literate and learned. And this is what's in the week 1 folder, part 2. We also have the same thing. We're looking at the video of the colonial period. We're also looking at a couple of readings from some of our authors for that period and completing a discussion board and a quiz. Okay, zoom in out anymore. So our first reading is the structure of the colonial period. So that means that you have to click on it. Oh, it's the video. Sorry. It's the video. The video is only 9 minutes long. Sorry about that. The video. And then we have our readings. They should automatically be open for you so that you can click on them. Take a look at the readings. This is the General Histories of Virginia by John Smith. We have Of Plymouth Plantation, okay, by William Bradford. His entries. We have A Model of Christian Charity by John Winthrop. It should be accessible, easy for you. Letter to the Town of Providence by Roger Williams, right here. The Bloody Tenet of Persecution, also by Roger Williams. Because many of these don't have audio, in later readings, you might even have the option of going to the audio reading. So if it's easier for you to follow along, I suggest that as well. So let's look at, let me zoom out, discussion board number 2. Okay, discussion board number 2 says the following. After reading through the articles, I would like you to choose 3 of your own, and I want you to write summaries of them. Example 1 summary, a couple hundred words. Example number 2 and example 3. So choose any of the 3 of the 5 reading texts below, and I want you to summarize them in your own words. Okay? You can number, bullet, list, however you would like to, but all of your summaries for your 3 chosen readings will be one post. Don't do 3 separate posts. Okay? Just do one full one. You can indicate them by numbering them, paragraph, or separating them. In your own words, explain the summary for one of the readings, followed by 2 other ones. So these are the chosen ones that you get to do, and you get to choose whichever ones. Then it also says, be sure to answer all the questions. Your entirety of your summary for your 3 should be at least 300 or 400 words. And then respond to one other student. Notice that it doesn't say multiple students, just one other student. Respond to at least 100 to 175 words. You're simply responding to them on what you've read or learned from their submission. When you read their summaries, consider the following. What do you notice about it? Is their summary similar or different than your own? Was there something interesting or memorable that you liked about it? And if you need a compliment, feedback, suggestion, I have some right here. It follows a week 1 due date. You can start the thread. You can start it as DB2. You can write your name as a title, however you want to. But again, I'm just writing out separate letters so that you can see that it's accessible. You can change the font, the size, the color. And then I'm going to post. All right. I also have the word count link right here to count your words. Again, you do have to click on it for it to be opened up. It counts your words for you, but also the responses to others. And then your first quiz 1, which is over week 1. I'm just going to open it up a little bit briefly so that you can see this part of it. It just says read each statement and answer to the best of your ability. You'll be given 30 minutes for each attempt. 2 attempts, the highest one, and it just follows the June 18th deadline. Again, at any point, if you have any questions, let me know. You have to click on the modules for them to open up. And it looks like this. Okay, again, as the days go by, you'll see more reflection and feedback right here. But at any point, if you have any questions, reach out to me. aestrada@hillcollege.edu.